I was 14 when I first found that god darn tape. The tape that would change my life forever. I was 14 years old when I found that first tape that would change my life forever. It was my oldest brother's tape. It was a white tape. I remember how the model looked, and I remember the exact part where I made my first whoosh explosion. And my life was never the same after then. So I was 14 when I first did it, and I went all through high school watching pornography. I went all through high school, and I wasn't getting a lot of results how I would have liked to during my teenage years. I didn't know why. You know what I'm saying? I had no clue. I thought it was just, I don't know, it was just the cards that I was dealt. I did not understand that I was using pornography as a form of escapism, because I didn't really have that much of a social life at school. Outside of school, yeah, but not while I was in school. I felt a lot of anxiety and stuff. I didn't feel seen. I felt invisible. You know, I know a lot of us get that feeling when it comes to a group of people. And I definitely had that feeling all 4 years of high school. I basically stayed to myself. I ate by myself and everything. High school was terrible. I don't even like talking about it, to be honest. So I wasn't getting any results, man. I wanted to join the basketball team. I definitely couldn't live up to that. I probably could have got on track, but I didn't want to do track. So it just came a point where I'm like, I want more out of life. And it took me until I was 20 years old where I finally got a job. I didn't go to college for long because I didn't want to get in debt. So it took me till I was 20 years old where I finally got a job working for Pizza Hut, saved up enough money to move out my mother's house. And when I was at my mother's house, things started to become a little bit different, right? So I was working, paying bills, and that kind of started to get old kind of fast, and I started to feel this void. And I remember I used to pray to God. I used to pray to God and say, if you would bless me with a girlfriend, I will stop watching and consuming this X-rated material. That was a prayer of mine. It was a serious prayer because I felt like it was out of my control and I wanted to stop so bad. So, I mean, once girls find out that you got your own house, especially when you're around 20, 21 years old, they gonna come, right? It was easy. I realized if you never move out, or if you haven't moved out yet, it's not something that you're going to realize. But I'm telling you, once someone finds out that you got your own house, getting girls is going to be easy. All you got to do is let them know, and they going to come over, and then whatever you want to happen is basically going to happen 9 times out of 10. But so I got a girl, right? I actually had her move in, but I was still having sex with myself every now and then. Not as much as I was before, because now I got a partner. But it was something about sex in real life and sex in digital life that wasn't the same. It didn't give me that same rush. They both gave me a rush, but it wasn't the same. And that is when I had the epiphany that this thing that I'm doing, it is not natural human behavior. Yes, it is normal, right? But it's not natural. And I felt that in my soul, and I understood it from my intuition. It just all made sense. Like, I've been participating in this thing for so long. It's not natural. I got to stop. Somehow, some way, I just got to stop because it's literally keeping my energy low. It's keeping me not getting results in life. So I had to find a way to stop. And that's when I just set out to go monk. I went monk. Monk is when you stop having sex and you stop masturbating. You just stop having orgasm, semen retention, abstinence, like no orgasm. I went monk. I went monk for 5 months. Now, when I went monk, I started to see things change in my life. What I started to see was I started feeling better about myself because I'm actually holding myself to something and acting in integrity every day. And while I was doing that, I was also sharing my story on YouTube. So I had a goal for like a year before I got on YouTube. I wanted to get on YouTube, but I didn't know how to grow. I didn't know what people wanted to hear from me. And when I started sharing that, my YouTube channel started to grow. I started working out, and I just started feeling better about myself. But eventually, that also got old. What I realized is that no matter what you do, once you become a better version of yourself, put yourself in a different position, it's going to get old. So once that got old, I allowed myself to go back into those old habits. Yet, I started watching porn again. It wasn't as bad. Usually with a relapse, what people like to call it, it wasn't as bad as when I never was able to unleash myself of that habit. So I would take breaks every now and then. I'd take like a 2-week break, sometimes a month break, but it still became a pretty regular habit in my life. And it also came with negative consequences. My net worth started to decrease, and my business stopped growing. I stopped making videos. I didn't stop completely making videos, but I wasn't as focused on it as I was before. So I did all that work. I built up all that momentum, only to find out that there is no going back. You can go back, but you're not going to be able to keep the gifts that you were getting. So through that, I came to a point of realization where I understood that in order to be free, you have to keep growing. Once you start to feel a void, you have to grow outside of your comfort zone, and don't try to go back into your old comfort zone. You have to keep growing. And in order to keep growing, what we are doing is living in the fourth dimension. What I mean by living in the fourth dimension is you can't allow your mind and your body to become idle. You can't allow stagnation. If you're doing something, even if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you have to do it to another level. Like you got to exert more and more energy. So the energy that you're using positively in order to overcome that bad habit, and now you're doing what you're supposed to do, you have to do more of that. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep growing. And that is why, with this understanding, I'm like, okay, now I got it. Now I finally understand what we have to do. We have to stay focused and we have to stay productive, right? And now that's why I created a program. It's called Kingdom Come. It's literally guiding people to not only overcome pornography and addictions, but also to realize their fullest potential. To realize their fullest potential and be able to use their energy in ways that's not only going to benefit them, but benefit whatever cause that they're trying to serve. So it takes you from getting over yourself to feeling good about yourself, building your confidence and your image, and feeling good as a person, and allowing that person to shine its light and grow bigger and stronger and brighter and wiser and everything, and just keep growing. It's going to be linked in the description below. I want you to click on that. I'm going to show you the 5-step process that I take every single day to overcome all addictions and keep myself on the path that I need to be by getting out the way and allowing God and my higher self to work every single day. Every single day. It's about being productive. With that being said, I'm King C's, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.